Hey, everybody, this is Tim Sutton with a new perspective. I appreciate you joining in to listen to some good information about some amazing people. If you're not familiar, I am a law enforcement officer in Virginia, and I do a lot of work with individuals who have disabilities, children, adults, whether it's autism, other developmental disabilities, Alzheimer's, dementia. But I try to spotlight some people who have lived the journey of the disabilities and have done some amazing things. And this week's a little bit different. I'll tell you, a year ago today was my first actual show that I did. And young man ended up being my engineer to help put the show together. And we've worked together on and off since a year ago. And now he's primarily my producer who's doing all the work behind the scenes. But I felt like, at some point he needs to be out in front and not just behind the scenes. And I want people to meet him and understand who he is and what he does and just some special aspects of him. His name is Anthony Griffo, and he's in New York, and we've become real good friends. And he's helped me along this journey, figure out what I'm doing, and really reinforces the reason why I do what I do. And I appreciate having him here. But again, today is the 1 year anniversary of my very first show, and he was instrumental in it. And I just want to bring him on to show some things and have him tell some stuff about him and his company that he has. And you will probably be amazed to find out he's only 17 years old. And he's way beyond anything I would have ever accomplished at 17 years old. So, yeah, I'd like to introduce everybody to Anthony Griffo.
Hey, Tim, how are you?
I'm doing just fine, Anthony. I appreciate you coming on. And I appreciate everything you've done over the past year to help me get this information out. And I think one of the coolest things is you understand the reason behind what I do. And I just appreciate all your help and all your support over the past year.
Thank you. Yeah, and you do great work too with the better understanding.
Well, let me. I want people to learn a little bit about it. You're 17 years old, and you actually have your own production company.
Mm-hmm.
And when did that all start? What age were you when you actually realized, this is what I want to do, and this is the direction I want to head?
So yeah, I started actually working in this industry at 15. So I was I just recorded for like friends, family, and they had like shows on YouTube and stuff. But I never realized it was a company until I realized it was a company.
Right.
Because I was just like, I just kept getting hired and hired and hired. And I'm like, maybe I could start a YouTube channel with this. So I started a YouTube channel. And then I'm like, wait a minute, this is a company, not a YouTube channel anymore.
Right.
Because then I started getting paid. And then from there, I created my website, which actually launched about a year ago, I would say, because I started launching it right after your show, I believe.
Right.
Here is my website. I'm going to pull it up for you guys to see. And
Yeah, I want people to see that.
If you guys are interested, you could go on www.griffoproductions.com. I'll type it in a chat here too, so you can see it. So if you would like, you could read my bio is here, and then here are all my shows. These are the companies I'm in collaboration with. Here are some testimonials. This is just my website where to contact me. And you could go through each page to view all my work.
Okay.
And yes, that is my website. Once again, that's griffoproductions.com. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, how many shows are you doing besides mine? How many you have actually out there now?
So including yours, it's 7. I produce 7 shows, but one show does 3 times a week now. So now It's technically 9. It normally is 8 because she used to do 2, but now we're gonna do 3 starting this week. But yeah, so that's fun.
So what kind of topics are some of those shows, and in case some of the viewers want to check them out and learn something new?
So yeah, so the Courtney Turner podcast is basically about politics and the average lifestyle, like with working out and stuff. She has a lot of health videos. And it's just regular conversations, just like what you have, but she goes really in depth.
Okay.
Your show, obviously, I'm sure people know about it.
I hope so.
Um, your show's about the disability world and all that. Home Health and Spirit is about essential oils, and her
Okay.
son is actually autistic, so she shows a lot of times how she uses essential oils to calm her son down.
Oh, okay.
Um, and Reminiscing with Gene DiNapoli, we haven't had an episode with him for a while, but he used to go back into the past and interview big time guests from the
Oh, okay.
back in the day with the doo-wop artists,
Right.
soul, big time artists.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I have a bunch of 2 other podcasts on there that you can
Right.
listen
Right.
to.
So it's a wide variety of things. It's
Yeah,
nothing. Everything is not
yeah.
actually tied together, but
And I
you
have an
know.
allergy podcast too that I help edit. And they talk about allergy awareness, and I'm actually a part of the magazine. I'm the director of operations for them.
And you actually you deal with food allergies yourself.
Mhm. Yep, I have a severe allergy to tree nuts. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So who was that your idea to start that, or did you
No,
somebody else
no.
start?
So I actually joined. My cousin introduced me to this company called Fair. I don't know. They are a nonprofit organization. They're very well known. They're nationwide. They might be worldwide too, but I know
Okay.
they're around the US. Um, but they have this program called TAG, which is Teen Advisory Group. And
Mhm.
I joined the Teen Advisory Group from my cousin because he's a part of the bigger group.
Oh, okay.
So I joined the Teen Advisory Group, and I saw that there was a project called Just Allergy Things, and I was interested. And so I
Right.
was talking to my friend Dana about it, she's the owner of it, and I was
Oh,
talking to
okay.
her at the time, and she asked me to join, so I joined. And down the line, I become their director of operations.
Oh, wow.
So,
And so you've got the podcast. When does that podcast air typically?
so we don't really have a weekly
Okay.
show. We really just do whenever.
Oh, okay.
This summer, we are gonna try to do weekly and do one every Friday or something.
Gotcha.
Um, but because we're all teens, it is kind of hard
Yeah.
to get
You
all of
got
us together with school and everything. So,
right. That's
yeah,
what I find impressive with school and everything. You're still able to do all of this, and
yeah.
so you got the podcast, but you also have the magazine, Just Allergy Things, the
Mhm.
magazine.
So yeah, so the Just Allergy Thing magazine is basically a food allergy magazine directed toward teens, but it also is for adults too.
Okay.
If you go on that website, you could read articles from teenagers about their experiences and how they deal with food allergies. I'm gonna try to pull up the website, but for some reason it's not loading.
Is it actually
Um,
a hard copy magazine or is it internet
no,
magazine?
it's all digital.
Okay.
So it is free, completely free. Um, we do ask if you could listen to some episodes, like
Right.
if you're not doing anything, because that does help us.
Okay.
Um, yeah, if you look right up on Google, just
Yeah, I'd
allergy
love to know
things.
how people can get in touch and maybe catch up on some of those things.
Yeah, I mean it's really great. It's a great cause too,
Right.
because compared to someone like me, like most people in the world do have food allergies, whether it's bad or not, but some have it really bad.
Right.
Like we were talking to this one person on an allergy magazine. She has a really crazy story. Her name's the allergy chef, and she has to wear a mask sometimes. Like
Wow.
she can't like she has great stories. So definitely listen to that podcast. I believe that was the most recent one.
Well, I think a lot of people are dealing with that, but they don't know where to go to get information. So, you
Mhm.
may have some bit of information that people need to hear,
Yeah.
and we definitely want to make sure people know about it and have access to it.
Yeah, for some reason it's not pulling up. I'll put the link in the description of the video when we start.
All right. Do you have any thoughts or ideas on why 20, 30 years ago we didn't seem to hear about food allergies all that much, but why it's such a big thing these days?
Honestly, I think it's because that we found out there's more of us out there.
Right,
There's more people with the food allergies. Like back then, you just ate whatever was handed to you on the plate.
right,
You know, like if you guys listen to the podcast that I was telling you about with the allergy chef, she actually goes really in depth with it. She'll talk about how her childhood was with it,
right.
um, and how her childhood affected her going to school and all that. So
Oh, okay,
yeah, she really goes deep into that.
okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, hopefully everybody can check it out. I guess they can Google.
Mhm.
They could probably Google
Yeah,
Griffo Productions and
if you just Google just allergy things, and if you also just Google Griffo Productions,
right.
I have the magazine linked up to my website,
Okay,
so you could see it there. But just allergy things, that's how you spell it. And you could just write .com and it'll pop up right away.
okay, cool. Well, you got. I think you had a picture showing. I think you said it was 6 months. You actually had open heart surgery and
Yeah.
had dealt with some medical issues. And I think you and I, through our discussions, you had mentioned the ADHD and possibly dyslexia. How has that come into play in your world and what you're trying to do?
So yeah, so I was diagnosed with open heart surgery when I was only 6 months old. Believe it or not, we actually had the surgery on Valentine's Day,
Oh wow.
which is also my half birthday.
Oh okay.
So, yeah, so my mom chose that day specifically because it's Day of Hearts.
Wow.
So it was either that or like sometime in the summer, and she wanted
Right.
me to choose that day. So, so it was on Valentine's Day, and like I had a hole in my heart. The doctor saw it. Everything ended up fine. However, due to that, we believe that um, I the reason I have ADHD is because of that.
Oh okay.
We don't know for sure, but
Right.
we believe that's one of the causes. But yeah, I was diagnosed with ADHD, I believe, around fourth grade because I'm a special ed student. I don't know if you knew that, but I am a special ed student
Oh
at
okay.
my high school. And the first time I was in special ed was for third grade.
Okay.
So I believe it was around there when we figured it out. So ever since then, I've been in special ed classes.
What
And
helped?
so
What helped them figure that out? Were there any particular behaviors or issues that made them
so
look into
they
that?
saw, yeah, they saw that I was struggling in a class and that I couldn't do math properly and it was hard for me to focus.
Right.
Um, because the teachers were really great. There
Right.
were couple of teachers I had here and then that didn't treat me the way how a regular student
Right.
should be treated, and I still have those teachers today.
Right.
Um, some teachers believe, oh, you're a special ed student, be treated like special ed. No, that's not how it works.
Right.
So that's one of the things that is frustrating. But I'm sure a lot of people do deal with it because I know a lot of people deal with it in high school
Yeah.
because like it's hard because the teachers they're main for special ed, but sometimes they forget that
Right.
we're still humans,
Right.
you know? And like people like me, I might not be quote unquote special ed student. I'm
Right.
just a student with a disability and learning problems. Some students with special ed are struggling and do need the extra help in the regular day-to-day life.
Yeah.
So they have trouble putting that together sometimes, I do feel like.
Well, you may have challenges in certain areas, but I mean,
Mhm.
you've got your own production company at 17 years old. So there
Yeah.
it's and I always talk about not disabilities but different abilities, which I may start saying differabilities because you have some amazing abilities, but you may struggle in certain areas. And I think all of us have that.
Mhm.
Some of us are good in math and
Yeah.
can't have a rough time with grammar and writing,
Yeah.
and then other people can write up a storm, but math just it's a problem for them trying to work through some problems. So I don't
Yeah.
really see that as what you're dealing with and what you've dealt with is any different than anybody else. It may just be on a different scale.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Well, that's
make sure, like, if you're like my age or someone, if you, don't be afraid to reach out, like to
right.
your school. Like, I know I have a really great school district, so they were really good with it. And I know some school districts are not good at all
Right.
with this type of stuff. But I know mine was really like they wanted me in this program,
Right.
and that was a good thing. Um, but don't feel afraid to reach out. Like if you're able to and you're not afraid to, don't be. Like
Right.
just send an email if you're afraid to talk to them in person. I do that all the time.
Right. Well, and that's what they need to realize your strengths and be able to work with you, and that the
Mhm.
goal should be no matter what to try to make you succeed or help you succeed. And that's part of why I wanted you here today, just to share about you and your story and everything you're capable of doing. Because if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't even be on screen. I wouldn't know where to start, how to go about doing all this stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, you may have ADHD, okay, but look at what you've accomplished over those years. And
Mhm.
I mean, you got into college.
I did. I'm going to Quinnipiac in 2022 fall.
So what do you hope to accomplish through your college? Where do you want to head with your
So my hope is just to graduate.
no,
That's
okay.
my hope right now.
Yeah, I had that hope many times and I
I'll
succeeded.
see. I'll see where the world takes me. My actual high school essay for my college essay was the title literally was Everything Happens for a Reason. That's what I stand by, and that's what I think everyone should stand by.
Right,
Because with that term, it basically means you can't push yourself to do it. It'll happen by itself.
right,
Me going to Quinnipiac, like me uh, applying, it just happened. I just heard about it. And I'm like, might as well apply.
right.
That wasn't even a top school. I wanted to stay home. I wanted to stay local. I didn't want to go anywhere. But once I saw this school, I stepped out. I'm like, okay, maybe I should leave Long Island. I
Right,
like this. So, and it's not too far from home too. So it was
right.
nice. It's nice to get out of my comfort zone a little.
Yeah, and that's what sometimes those doors open, but if you don't have enough nerve or courage to go through those doors, what's the point? They can open all
Mhm.
day long, but you've got to take that step,
Right.
take that leap of faith. And like you said, things happen for a reason. That door opened for a reason, and
Mhm.
you're going to try to take advantage of it as best as you can. And I don't have any doubt, no matter what you do, you're going to be successful at it. So,
And like at the time, like a year ago today, like it just so happened that I was your producer. And look at it later, a year
yeah.
ago later,
Oh, yeah.
like I just threw out your job because someone told me you're looking for someone. And I
Yeah.
said, all right, I'll take it,
Yeah.
you
So,
know?
yeah, like I said, I mean, it's ironic that we're having this show today, having
Hmm.
been a 1 year anniversary, May 3rd. I think that's pretty cool. Well, you
Yeah.
do a lot of, I don't know if you want to call it charity or
Yeah.
charity type work. Tell us some about that. I know you collect toys at Christmas and you're
So
trying to
yeah,
help so
so
many groups. Tell me about them.
so yeah, so one day after I would say a couple of years ago, I just decided I'm like, because I was always the worker person. I always wanted to work. I don't know if
Right,
you could tell now. Uh, but I was always the type to work and I always wanted to work. But when I was 13, 12, I couldn't.
right.
So I always worked at a summer camp. Like I was a camp counselor there at 12, 13.
Oh,
That was great because that gave me the ability to work. But I also
right.
wanted to do my own thing on top of that. I always wanted to do my own thing.
That's
So
all right.
then I just happened to be at John Thiesen's one day, and he is in Wantagh, New York,
Yeah,
right on Wantagh Avenue. And I met him one day, and I said to him, I'm like, "What could I do to help you?" He's like, "Do whatever you want."
hmm,
Basically, that's what he said to me. And then he's like, and then I remember his story, how he went out, like in his house. You could look up pictures online. His house front yard was all toys, like when he first started, because
oh
he didn't
wow.
have a storefront like he does now.
Oh, okay.
But his front yard was filled with toys. So I'm like, maybe I could do something like that with my block. So what I decided to do was go around each block. I did about 4 blocks around my house, and I put a sheet of paper telling how to donate, when to donate, and later on, a couple weeks later, I see almost every house had a toy in front of
Oh, wow.
their property. So this was my living room.
There you go.
This was 2020 during the pandemic.
Right.
And I still did it during everything. I just wore gloves and when I was delivering the toys and stuff. I still did it this year. We get a lot each year. I think this might have been, I don't know if this was our most amount. Each year we always get a crazy amount. I think we counted $4,000 in total.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, and this year I got 2,000 just in cash and checks. Like this is like 4,000 with all the toys and everything, but this year I counted like 2,000 just with cash.
Goodness gracious.
And that's on top of the toys.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so this is a picture of me and John. This
go.
was 2020. And yeah, if you're interested in working with him or volunteering with him, I know a lot of Long Islanders do work with him. Just go on his website. It's jtcf.org. I'm going to pull it up right here.
Yeah, definitely let people know how to contact.
Yeah, so this is his website. It's jtcf.org. You can watch some of his videos on here. He does do a freaky 5K in October. I normally do a volunteer with that.
You don't run it? You don't run the 5K?
No, I don't run it.
Definitely. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. I've done a few of them, but as old as I am now, my joints and all, they can't handle all that.
Yeah, it's very cool because you can really see like the great people that come and visit. Like it's all nice people. And they're all there for the same cause too. So it's really nice.
Well, I can tell you, 17 years old, you're doing so much. And again, that's why I wanted to have you out here because you do so much behind the scenes. And I think people need to realize everything that you're doing. Mm-hmm. So Griffo Productions, where do you want that to go?
I don't know yet. Like I said, let's just see where the world takes us. I'm a big believer in that. I don't know. In college, I'm gonna hope to work with the big company, but who knows? Maybe I could launch my own bigger company, a part of that big company.
Right.
Like we could have it like in association with Griffo Productions. I don't know, something like
that. That'd be great. That'd be great. Well, what other interests do you have outside of doing the production stuff? I know you're going to be going to see the Islanders play.
No, the Rangers, not the Islanders.
Oh,
we don't like the Islanders.
I'm sorry. My apologies. Like we
I
talked
don't
before.
Like
I don't know a whole lot about hockey. But what other interests have you got out there?
I mean, I do like playing video games. Never like that. I do like to do. I don't know. Business. I've always been in business. Even when I was at camp, I was editing videos for the camp. Like I always did something, and I was 12 then or 13 then, and I was still working. Yeah, I've always just been in the industry.
Well, it's nice to be able to, even though it's business and it's working, it's something fun for you, something you enjoy, and it's a tough thing to try to find a job or something that is fun.
And I also like I would much rather do this than working at a storefront or like being a cashier. So
yeah, well, that's kind of like me. I mean, being a police officer for 34 years, I couldn't see me going and sitting in an office every day, all day. It's nice to be able to get in that car and be out and about, and every day is different. But just having the freedom to go here, go there, and do things. But yeah, it says a lot to be able to enjoy what you're doing. And when it gets to the point where it's no fun anymore, that's when you need to change direction.
And the great thing about this industry too is that you could be in many different fields in one industry. Because I could be a camera operator, I could be in the control room, I could be in actual office editing.
Right.
I could just do advertisements, which barely needs editing and stuff. Like I could go wherever I want if I get sick of like this area.
Right. It's just it's unlimited opportunities and
Mhm.
avenues to explore. And as time progresses, it's going to open up even more and more and more. And again, it's hard for me to believe you're 17 years old and you can do all this, because when I was 17,
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was going to do. I was still
Yeah.
trying to make my way through high school. Didn't know what path I was. I was just wondering if I was going to get into a college or not.
And I will say that is the one thing too that changed from even when my parents were little. They didn't have the option they do now, like with all the computers and everything.
Right.
So take advantage of that. Like what
Right.
I'm doing. Like I don't even work with anyone that lives in the same area I work with.
Right.
Like nobody lives in the same town that I work with. My one friend, Dana, that I do the magazine with, she's in Florida.
Oh, okay.
My one client, Courtney, she was in California at the time. Now she's in Tennessee.
Wow.
I'm all over the place, and that we have the ability to do that nowadays. So take advantage of that.
Right. And don't be afraid to ask questions.
That's
I've
one
had to
thing
ask you
too.
plenty of questions. Just telling me, hey, can you do this? I'm like, I have no idea how. You need to tell me how to do it. And just constantly asking you. So here's this 55-year-old guy asking a 17-year-old how to do something.
And that's
Um,
one thing too. If you have disabilities, don't feel afraid to ask
no,
again. I know my one client, whenever I have trouble with editing this one thing, I always confirm with her. I'm like, so you want this, not this, correct?
right,
And she'll say yes. Then I know for sure that's what she wants. So if you get confused a little bit and you don't remember, because I know tend to forget stuff a lot with my ADHD, because the second I get off my computer and do something else,
doing
I'll forget I was even editing.
right. Well, that's
I'm
okay.
very forgetful, so make sure you always confirm with it. And if you have to take medication, don't feel afraid. Talk
No,
to your doctor. I'm gonna say this. I take medication myself when I'm in school. I don't take medication when I'm home though. But if you have to, talk to your doctor.
right.
Do what you got to do to make yourself better.
Well,
And if
well,
you're
Anthony,
not,
I want to thank you for coming on. I know it's
yeah,
different being in front of the camera instead of
yeah,
behind the camera, but I felt like you had so much to share, and I wanted people to hear your story and learn more about you and Griffo Productions. And I would, again, if anybody's interested in contacting Anthony, um, shoot your information up there again one more time.
yeah. So if you go to my website, www.griffoproductions.com, you will, and if you scroll all the way down, you could see the contact information and you could email me right through the website. Or if you don't want to do that, you could email me through griffoproductions@hotmail.com.
Cool,
And
good
that's
deal.
spelled the same way.
Well, Anthony, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, and hopefully we can do this again.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Everybody, I want to thank you for being here. Thanks to Anthony for being here. And hopefully you get to hear his story. And he's an amazing young man. And just wanted to show you, if you can't get in touch with him, get in touch with me, AA Awareness 12 at yahoo.com, or check my website, a-betterunderstanding.com. I'll get you in touch with him. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hopefully you learned something and learned some things about Anthony, just to see what kind of remarkable man he is. So thank you for watching. Dad, thanks for watching. I love you. And everybody take care.